Hi there and welcome back on my YouTube channel. MIGLIORINI here. Today I want to answer to some question about another video I published more times ago. The video is how to create the normal direction from the exterior object, from another object. I read some question and I want to answer. How do you do the same starting with a points cloud or just point randomly scatter in a volume or on the plane? Essentially, think I understand very well the question, but I want to show you also. Before continuing, I want to talk about a little bit on scatter. Here we have different geometry, okay? We have the plane, we have the sphere, we have the piguet test geometry, and we have also the different kind of scatter. For example, if you can go see here, if you see, if I have the scatter, the classic scatter, you can create the total number of scatter on your geometry. You can also work on the iteration and you can use the different kind of setting here. By the way, when you connected the scatter points and if you, for example, change the geometry, you can see it's the same. You don't have any change about, for example, the group, because you can create also the scatter by the group, by the attribute, or by the density. By the way, you can see here the points was created on the geometry, not inside the geometry. Okay, you can also create another way. You can create the volume with, for example, the ISO offset, but I recommended to use the VDB from polygons. In this way you can create the volume. It's a different kind of volume, but it's very near. I don't know why, but I prefer use that. When you use that, you can use the scatter points. You can choose, for example, by density. You can also apply the attribute density, but in this case it's not important because here we have by density or count per primitives in texture space. Here I setting by density is create the density attribute, okay, you can find here and here, and is create the number of points inside your geometry, not on the surface of your geometry. You can see the difference from here and to, I can say, okay, from this and this. It's this is outside and this is inside the geometry. Okay. Another way, you can also use the attribute mask. You can draw in your mask, and here you can assign the name of attribute, and is created the scatter only where is your attribute applied. Also, you can use the group. In this case, I use my tools group by line. I create the line on my geometry, and I can create the group using that tools. Okay, and you can see here I use the group by group scatter. This is essentially all way for create the scatter. And when you create on the surface, you can create the normal scatter, or you can create the attribute, for example, or you can paint the mask or use the group, or you can use the inside with the volume. Obviously, you can use also 1 point in your scatter. For example, you can go here. This one is create only 1 point. Do we require the same number of points or both the geometry? Essentially, no. You can use also the different number of points. Here, for example, I just create the volume. Okay, scatter the volume, the points inside the volume. Essentially, I create here the volume, and here I create another scatter. You can use also the scatter inside the volume. It's the same, but in this case I want to use only 1 point. Okay, 1 point randomly is inside my geometry. Inside, you can see, is inside the geometry. Okay, and here, if I use the difference number of points for control the direction, you can use for example 0, because I have only 1 point. Okay, so if I have 2 points and want to use the number points is number 2 or number 3, I can use that for, but in this case only 1 points. And you can see it's changed the direction with 1 point. It's oriented by this point. I hope you like this kind of video. If you have another question or you want more answered also from another video I did in the past, let me know. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for help me for growing. Maybe it's not more for you, because also I check there is a lot of people is watching the video but is not subscribed, and it's free. So anyway, have a nice day. Bye.